Okay, I'm going to be doing a few flip throughs. I'll either, depending on how long the videos are taking, I'll either do 5 separate videos or I'll do a couple of flip throughs in 2 different videos just to keep them from being too long and to keep them from being too short. So this is one that I finished today, and it is another, the travel style journals where it's the cover is folded 3 ways. But this one, the cover is much lighter material. It's basically just treated packing paper instead of the treated file folders. So since it's so much thinner, I did not do the wraparound binding on this one. I did the actual 5-hole pamphlet stitch. But I did 2 different separate packages. So it's kind of like the Do-Si-Do journal. For those of you guys who follow treasure books, this is kind of like the trifold Do-Si-Do, except instead of putting it on opposite sides, I put them inside the same. So one is bound on this side and one is bound on this side. The closure is just a tie, again, crocheted yarn. I think it's 6 strands of yarn, either 6 or 7 strands of yarn, different colors as you can see here. It's not attached yet, and I probably won't attach it. I'll leave that up to whoever becomes the proud owner of this in the future, but it's just tied like a normal bow tie. And again, it's not attached. So since it is a trifold, you open whichever way, and it works both ways. If you want to do this one, and then this one, it works fine both ways. You open it up, and you've got one book here attached on that side, and one book here attached on this side. And then I'll flip through all the packages and the pockets and whatnot. This is a writing board, which I try to include with all of my journals because I'm using paper that's relatively thin, or paper that could bleed through depending on what type of pen you're using. So on one side, as per usual, this side is where I was practicing my calligraphy, and this side is the lines on the opposite side of that paper, because I only write on one side of the paper when I'm using fountain pens, because they do bleed through. They tend to bleed through a lot. So the writing board is included with this one. And I'd mentioned before how I had treated a whole lot of packing paper to look like leather, put oil on it and everything, and had a problem with the oil soaking into the paper and leaving oil stains. So what I did to try to prevent that happening again is cover both sides of the packing paper with either Mod Podge or glue, watered down PVA glue, or something that would try to seal the oil in and keep it from leaking onto the paper and staining the paper. And as I showed, I had one other journal that I'd bound and forgot about, left it in the paper press, and the oil seeped out anyway and stained the whole thing. I still have not decided what I'm going to do to try to fix that one. So what I did with this one is I did not put it in a paper press, first of all, but both of the sides are still treated with Mod Podge or glue. However, there is still the potential for some staining to come through, because I think I only did 1 coat. I don't think I did 2 coats. So there's still potential for it to soak through, but I'm just going to let it ride. Since I'm not putting it in the press, the soak through will be minimal. This is not a page for writing anyway. So what you'll see here is the packing paper treated to look like leather, sealed with 1 coat of Mod Podge or glue, and it's either sewn together. You'll see everything as I do the flip through. But basically treated. So I'm not taking any additional measures to avoid the staining. I'm just going to let it go where it will, because this is only facing either cardstock or, and this one did even more. Yeah, it's coming through where I sewed it on the bottom. But like I said, I'm not even going to worry about that. I'll let the oil flow where it may, because this is a travel journal, and the rough edges are somewhat intentional. I just don't want it to be as obvious and as bad as that other one where it soaked through 3 pages of paper. So on the first, this is the one in the back, depending on how you do them. I'll do this one first, and then I'll go through this one, and they're the same, just the different colors of cardstock on the outside for the pockets and whatnot. So on the front here, you have embossed packing paper treated to look like leather. You've got a pocket where you can go back here, or this is not a pocket here, so you could put stuff in here, but you could not put stuff here. I decided not to sew it down here. I just sewed the 2 pieces together like this. So someone intrepid and liking to modify things that they've already obtained, could, if you wanted to, run additional stitching here and sew it, unclose it on that end, so you have 3 levels of pocket, but not really necessary. Just you have this pocket here, and then you have this cardstock folded up, and you have a small pocket here where you can tuck stuff. And then you have an additional pocket here, just the one pocket, it's not attached here, where you can put additional stuff. And then another piece of cardstock where you have the final pocket. And of course, they're reflected on the back as well. So all these things are divided in 2. So you have 2 more pockets here and 2 more pockets here. Now, in order to keep it stable while I was binding it, because I did do the 5-hole pamphlet stitch on this one, I put a little bit of double stick tape on the inside of the pockets in the back to keep it in place while I was stitching it together. So inside of each of these pamphlets, you have 5-hole pamphlet stitch, ONA, O-N-A paper, which I think is made in Japan, and some of the Korean mulberry paper. But I think this one is all ONA paper, 2 different kinds. The cream and the light brown, I think, is how these are distinguished. And there are exactly, I use 15 pieces of paper, so there are 30 sheets in each of these pamphlets. And the only difference between them is you have some that are off-white and some that are light brown, so it goes back and forth. And you'll notice that one side of all the sheets has this little, I don't know if this shows up in the camera or not, but there's little special shiny threads that were used to make the paper that are visible on one side but not visible on the other side. So again, you've got 2 pieces of cardstock, 2 semi-pseudo fake leather pockets on one side, and then 2 more on the other side, and 30 sheets inside the pamphlet. So that is that one, and now we will look at this one. So this one, you have the same thing. Embossed packing paper treated to look like leather with the same mild seal that is already starting to bleed through where I sewed it. I didn't even think about that. I probably should have sealed it again after I sewed it. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about the ink stains or the oil stains. So 1 pocket here, cardstock with a fold pocket, a small fold pocket. And then, or this may not be cardstock. It's kind of not as heavy as cardstock usually is, but it's Japanese construction paper. So it's not the fabric-y or tear-easy type of construction paper that we have in the U.S., but I got this at Daiso. So another pocket here, and another piece of cardstock with a small pocket. And again, you have the 15 pieces of paper that is also a mixture of ONA and Korean mulberry paper for this second one. And you have the same feature where you have the shiny threads that are incorporated on one side of the paper, but not on the rough side of the paper. So because it's 15 pieces of paper folded, you got 30 sheets in this pamphlet as well. And I hadn't really intended for either one of them to be first or second. I think when I first put it together, I put, just because this is the one that's on the right side, so to speak, I put this one in first and then folded this one in, and then put the writing board on top and folded the flaps like this. And again, this is not attached, so it just goes like this. And I'm not sure how long the video is, but I think I'm going to stop it here for this one and then do the others in either separate videos or the same style in a different video, because I don't want it to be too long, but I also don't want it to be a short, because the format of the shorts is somewhat troublesome to manage for me, because I'm new to this and I'm not sure what I'm doing. So here you have packing paper, travel journal, 2 pamphlets, 60 sheets total, 5-hole pamphlet stitch bound in Japanese mulberry paper, ONA brand, or the Korean mulberry paper, which I don't know. I cannot read Hangul as of yet, so I don't know the name of the actual one. And this one is just under 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So it definitely won't be a short, so I'll leave this one in its own video.